Welcome back, people of the interwebs. We're back in the garage. We've had a good Christmas. I hope all of you had a great break. Hopefully you're still on vacation for a while. I've got about another 10 days off now. Catching up on some house stuff. But picked up a new project yesterday. It was yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday. Since I got the 4-tracks out of the garage, and that's doing awesome out here. I even got a new 2-up seat for it, actually. It's nasty out here, by the way. But yeah, 4-tracks has been running good. Been putting it through its paces here. But that is for sale right now. I got it up for $2,000. I don't think I'll take any less than that. It's a killer quad. So, anyways, on to the new project. So I picked this up, and you probably already seen in the title what it is, because I probably made it the title. That door's an issue. And so let's go ahead and check it out. This is probably, I'm going to argue, the cheapest Polaris Predetor that's been bought in North America. I'm making that claim. It's probably wrong. But $300 got me this, and it's pretty sweet. The guy was sort of in the pinch. He bought it broken, found out what was wrong with it, didn't want to fix it, and I think he needed the money for whatever reason and had to unload it pretty quick. He got it from his buddy, and he got it from somebody else, and yada yada. The list goes on. But here she is. I believe it's a 2006. Probably. Anyway, I think they made it from 06 to 03 to 07. The Predator 500s. But here she is. Gray. Got the nice Polaris handguards. Headlights. Got a brand new battery in it. Let's see if... I don't know if the high beams work. Let's see if the lights... Oh, yeah. How sweet is that, guys? What a beast. It's got the LED halos. Cooling fan obviously works, so that's good. Switches seem to work. It's got a key, so that's even a huge bonus. But let's go through it. I've taken a brief look at it. All the parts over there for this. Some down here too, but it appears it's all there. So for $300, I think I kind of stole this from the guy. I mean, figuratively. But it's got Fox Podium shocks. I think those came from the factory, but all the shocks feel good. I just gave them a good, bounce test, made sure everything worked. Just kept an eye on all the bushings. All the bushings seem to be good. The rear swing arm bushings are good. It's got these wicked new set of Nerf bars. Nice set of wheels. These are the Maxxis Razors. Fronts don't have a ton of tread left, but they're not bad. The rears still have an okay amount. They're probably about 50%, so they're staying on here for sure. Nice push bar. Pro steering, I don't know what that means, but I don't know if that's some aftermarket, if these are aftermarket swing arms or what. But the steering could use a little bit of work. It seems like it's got a little bit of play in it. Nothing crazy, but I won't be doing 100 miles an hour on it. I'm just going to do a quick walk around, and then we'll get to sort of what's the issues on it. So this has clearly been apart. This whole side is not even really attached anymore. So I actually do need to get hardware for all this. It didn't come with that. But it's got nice Tusk Racing, Tusk Off-Road Nerf bars. Seat's in good shape. Cockpit's in good shape. And guys, I'm going to pause this for a second. We have brakes. And not only front brakes, we have back brakes too. Check this out. It actually holds pressure. And I tested it. It stops. It stops on a dime. I am beyond excited. That was worth the money as it is. Just buying a $300 quad with brakes. Because, you know, normally you end up with something like that, and that doesn't even have brakes. Anyways, let's move on. This thing has been pretty well looked after. Someone cared for it, I don't know, many years ago. It has all the aftermarket hoses, silicone hoses, front white A-arms, rear swing arms been off and powder coated. And this isn't just paint, like this is real powder coating. So someone has put a lot of love into this at some point in its life. Clutches, looks factory. I was looking at the basket here. It doesn't. What you want to look out for is grooving here. So as these go back and forth, what you'll end up with little grooves in your basket, and those hold the clutch packs together, and they'll stick. So a lot of the times on the older engines, like my old RMX 250 over there, these just end up getting completely worn out, and then your clutch sticks, and that's what my RMX is doing right now. Not too bad yet, but it'll get some love this winter. Appears to be a stock clutch. Everything's there. I made the dummy move of... This was all apart when I picked it up. I didn't pull this apart. I towed it like 2 hours home, and I should have just put a few bolts back in the side cases, because now I have to get in here and just really do a good clean of this now before I put any oil back in it, because it's got a lot of grit that's just built up. So I'll hammer it with a couple cans of brake clean and some plastic bristle brushes, and we'll do a few oil changes on her just to make sure it's good to go, but I'm not too worried about it. The water pump definitely been replaced at some point, because that is not factory. It's been wrenched on for sure. Rear breakage. So, yep, the rear brakes do work. I don't have anything really holding any of this together, because all of this had to come off for them to get the basket off, and he didn't include any of that hardware, so yeah, I'm gonna have to find that. And the springs for this. But if you do press on it, it will compress the rear caliper, which is awesome. Great news. Plastics don't look too bad. I mean, it's got the stock seat cover on it. It has been loved on, like I said. Rear tires. Pretty good. Pretty good for a set of Maxxis. Razors. What kind of rear rims do we have here? It's hard to read. Let's see if I can roll it forward. Not sure. I'm sure these will polish up real nice, though. Hit these with a little buffing wheel. I'm sure these will come up gorgeous. Here's where things get a bit ghetto. The air box obviously was off. He just threw it back on. Not holding in by anything. It's got a new battery, but the battery's held in by some yarn. So, but hey, it's got a Canada-proof battery, and it works, which is good. I rarely ever buy a quad with a working battery, especially the cheap ones. So, I mean, that's a $100 battery. This tire's good too. Chain doesn't look too bad. You can tell it hasn't been loved on for a while, but it's still stiff. Like, you can tell the O-rings are still good. So, a little bit of chain lube, and that should come right around. Shock, rear shock. Bump stop's still good. It's a little dirty. But what do we have here? Another Fox podium. Adjustable. That's pretty sweet. I can't wait to actually get on this thing and just start giving her. Come over to this side. This side's a part too, obviously. I don't like buying bikes that are pre-taken apart. The only reason is I'm not familiar with this myself, right? So I didn't take it apart. I don't know where the fasteners go. Some could be longer, some could be shorter. And when it comes down to it, there's a lot of like electrical, like, what is this? Why is there so much tape? That looks aftermarket. Somebody's done something there. Here's the coil. It's missing something here. Coil's not plugged in. What is this thing? Why is it taped up? Where does it go to? I've been eyeing a few YouTube videos, just people who bought these sort of like I do and have fixed them up, and I watched them go through it, take it apart, so I'm getting a good idea of where everything is. And this one's actually super cool. It's basically a full-blown race engine. It's dry sump, so you don't fill up the crankcase. That's actually where you put the oil, and it just pumps through. So that's different. I didn't even know that until this morning when I was watching videos. I just figured this was coolant and it was pumping up through here, but no, this is all oil. Your coolant's actually here. Ride fast or die last. It shifts through all the gears, which is great. The clutch does work. It's a little sticky, but I don't blame it because, I mean, it spent 2 hours outside in the Newfoundland winter, and it's got no oil in it right now. So besides that, guys, I'm insanely stoked on this thing. For $300, I don't... It's another one of those Hail Mary things. I sort of just woke up first thing in the morning, and I checked my phone, as everyone does. And my buddy had tagged me in this post that was put up at like 1 a.m. And first thing I did, 6 a.m., I messaged him, no questions asked, I'll take it. And that's kind of what you got to do for this kind of stuff. Can't ask too many questions because, I mean, if I was selling it for $300 and someone started nitpicking like, hey, what's this? What's wrong? Does this work? I'm just going to ignore them because for $300, I mean, the tires and wheels alone are worth more than that. The suspension's worth $600-700. The Nerf bars are another $200. Like, aftermarket A-arms, all that stuff, another few hundred. It's easily $1,500 in just basic parts, without even getting into the engine. So I'm super excited. Let's actually, I haven't showed you guys the other parts that it came with. Let's take a look. We'll get into what's wrong with it. Some of you may probably already know this. Anybody who knows these engines would probably already be aware of likely what's wrong. Here's the carburetor. It's a Mikuni. Not sure what size. It's pretty damn big, but it's a 500cc engine, so you'd expect it to be. So it's got the diaphragm slide, so this hooks up to vacuum, and then as well as it's got your butterfly, which goes here, and your choke that goes in there. It does all appear to be here. I don't know. I'm a little confused as to what these holes are for. Anybody know? They're threaded and they look like something was in there. I could be wrong, but let's see if I can put my light on it. Alright, let's see. Well, I could be wrong. They look kind of blocked off. Oh, maybe I'm nuts. Anyways, I'll just rip this bowl apart quick, clean out all the jets before she goes back on, but it appears to all be there. I've got the clutch side case right here. It's all there. All the bolts seem to be there. He did keep it all together, so I mean, for being the type of fellow he seemed to be, I give him credit that he at least kept it together. And for $300, that's great. So that's where the oil filter goes. I have the oil filter cap and all the hardware there. I got actually 2 of these. These are 2 of the flywheel stator covers. This one obviously has the gear mechanism for the electric start. This one doesn't. Trying to see if there's any actual differences here, but there doesn't appear to be anything wrong with this one. But that was probably the one that was pulled off of it, if I had to guess. And then it's got obviously all the electronics and plugs that go with it. And then we have our flywheel, or not. Pardon me, I don't know what you call it. You call this a flywheel? Should really know this shit. But it's got all the bolts here for the stator side. And then it's also got the ring gear for the starter mechanism. So that's all here. I'd call this magneto, no? Would you call that a magneto, or is this a magneto? God, I'm gonna sound stupid now. Yeah, I'd call this the flywheel. Yeah, it's the flywheel for sure. Got me all confused in myself now. But for anybody here who knows anything about these engines, and me within 5 minutes of actually saying I was going to purchase this, I did a quick little Google search. And very common problem is almost every video you see of these that's a cheap one is this. This is your crank, in case you guys don't know what you're looking at here. This would be your stator side. So your stator goes on the case, and then you have your flywheel here that provides the magnets for it and turns around. And the problem these have is that the woodruff key that sits into the crank, the factory Polaris ones actually have like a rounded edge. They're not 90 degrees. So after every couple years, I don't know many that haven't, but this ends up shearing off. You'll go to start it one day and your flywheel will spin, throw everything out of time, and then you're dead. You're dead in the water. She won't run, she won't do anything because your timing's completely off. Another reason I got this one so cheap, it wouldn't be such a big deal if it just sheared, because then you'd just take half the woodruff key out. You order a generic woodruff key set off Amazon with 50, 60, 80, 100 pieces. Pick the one that fits, put it in there, $20 out the door, you're back up and running. The previous owner of this, I don't know if it was the guy I got it off of, he would never admit to it. He said it was the guy before him, but, you know, instead of being smart and spending $20 just to get a new woodruff key and sell it for a few $1,000s, because realistically, these things go for, I don't know, I'll probably list it for $2,000, $2,500 when it's all said and done. But instead, he sold it for $300. I think likely just for some beer money. He just tack welded it. So he took half the key, stuck it back in there, shoved the flywheel back on, and just went zzz, tried to fill the hole. And apparently it ran. He got about 3 rides out of it. And then nothing. As you can tell, yeah, the woodruff key let go and flywheel started spinning. Grounded down the case pretty bad here. But not overly bad. Like there was a few little shavings here, but it's not cracked. There's nothing, it's superficial. So the issue I'm going to run into is I now need to get that out. Or I need a new crank. Or option 3, which I'm not overly fond of, is you get a woodruff key cutter and you recut this out. So I've had a couple buddies come look at this and try to figure out the best way possible moving forward to try to get that out of there. See the camera. I'm hoping that with their very crappy welding abilities, I'm able to either grind this down a bit and punch it out, assuming it got no penetration into this thick crank, because I doubt they heated this up before they did it, and or grind it down and drill a little hole in one side. Because for anybody who doesn't know, woodruff keys kind of look like a half moon. So the half moon part's sitting in that crank. So theoretically, if it doesn't have a great bond, even if it does have an okay one, if I'm able to break it loose, I can just hit one side and it should rotate out of there. Or if I drill a small hole going down with the grade of the key, I should be able to get one of my small punches in there and see if I can't just break it out. If not, the whole thing piece by piece. So that'll probably be in my next video. I'm going to get to that this afternoon, but I just wanted to get a video out of this cool project because it's been sitting here for a day or two. I don't remember when I got it, to be honest. You know, you ever been vacation days and you're like, I don't even know what day it is because I've had like a month off. We're super stoked about this. If any of you guys have any suggestions on how you'd go about doing this that I didn't mention, fire it away. I'd honestly love to. Super excited to get working on it. I'm hoping this is going to be an easy fix. I'm hoping this isn't going to be a 10-part series of Will tearing apart a Polaris Predetor 500 engine, because I don't want to do that. But it might very well be. If I have to get a used crank for a couple $100, then I'll do it. Super excited about this beast. Starting to get snow now. Got my sled here. This is for sale too, actually. But yeah. Stay tuned for some more videos on it. I'm gonna probably hit it for a couple hours this afternoon and see if I can't get another video out too. Update on the Foreman. I have ordered a new drive shaft for it. It's not supposed to be in for another week or so. I haven't done any more welding. I've honestly been taking care of housework and stuff. But she's a day's worth of welding and she'll be ready to put back together. And then we just I keep forgetting to order these shock bushings. Those are completely gone. But besides that, new projects here. Super excited. Leave a comment down below and stay tuned. Hopefully in the next couple days. Whew, I'd love to get this thing running before I went back to work. It's a cool piece of kit, and it would probably actually be a blast in the snow too. So, thanks for watching, Internet. Stay tuned for more. Comment what you think I should do with that crank. See you next time.